Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wealthy Hills podcast, where we empower women to build wealth and leave behind legacies for the next generation. So, today we have with us a very special guest, someone that I've known since she was a baby. I'm sure she's going to laugh. Yes, I've actually known her for that long. Can't believe she's all grown, all married, mother of two. As you know, for this season, we are going on a journey with everyday women to see how they are going about their wealth building um journey in life. So we're going to be interviewing a couple of ladies that we can all kind of like relate to. They're going to tell us their stories and then their journey, what has worked, what they wish they knew when they were younger. So without further ado, today's topic is wealth beyond the wallet, redefining financial success on your terms. Now, welcome to my very, very beautiful guest, Esther. So, Esther, do you mind introducing yourself to our audience? Who you are, how old you are, married, single? Give us the whole shebang.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Esther. I am that's my age.
Come on.
I'm 31. I'm a mom of two, a wife of one. Hey. I am a midwife. I'm a lover of Christ always. And I don't know what else.
What else are you passionate about?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm a singer.
Yeah, that was what
I know, so she's waiting
as a
for.
singer. Yes, I knew you as a singer.
Also, yes, I'm a singer. That's my, that was in there with Love of Christ because that's how I serve Christ.
Okay,
Like it.
so when you hear the phrase wealth beyond the wallet, what comes to mind for you?
Wealth beyond the wallet is for me thinking about not just financial abundance, but abundance in things that feed your soul, that drives your core values. So for me, it's less about money, but more about the things that feed you and keep you going. And um, yeah.
Okay, so like in episode in season one, actually, when we talked about passing on legacy, we talked about things like, so wealth is not like financial wealth is not the only thing that you kind of like pass on to your children, but then your values, your
Yeah.
spirituality, your faith, everything that really defines you, your culture, your food. These are things that we kind of like pass on to kind of like the next generation, and it's all part of kind of like legacy building, right? So
Yeah.
for you, as a 31-year-old mom, when you were growing up, what was your earliest memory of money and how did that shape your view of wealth?
I think sometimes you don't realize money until it starts to affect your life, right? So I think I must have lived in that bubble of not that we were rich, we were absolutely not, but we were comfortable. And then when we were now not being comfortable, I was like, what's happening here? You're not buying McDonald's every Sunday again. So that was around when I was, I'd say about 13, 12, 13. So my parents were not, they were separated, and my mom then is sole breadwinner in the home. And there's only so much living in this country, having three kids in school. There's only so much her finances can cover, and some of the leisures that we would have had, like we weren't able to have that anymore. Like, before she was able to take us on holidays and nothing fancy, but we'd go on family trips, and like I said, the McDonald's after church on Sunday, and all of a sudden these things started to stop. Um that's when I kind of realized that, okay, this money thing is it's, how will I say, like, this money thing really does affect what's going on all around you. Um and that kind of made me then develop this it made me develop this I suppose, like, natural reaction to always be thinking that I want to be comfortable with money. I have to be comfortable. I can't let my kids experience that. And then I'm now having kids. trying to be like, make sure that, oh, not that I would give them everything they want, but I just want us to be comfortable. I don't want that feeling of like, things are
So have you ever heard of the term the psychology of money before?
the
So
what?
psychology of money. So there's a book called The Psychology of Money, and it
Okay.
actually delves into how our upbringing
Mhm.
and the experiences that we go through as a child actually impacts the way that we actually view money and how we actually deal with money. So there's always like a trauma response to some of the things that we go through. So some people, it pushes them to kind of like the other end. And in my journey of working with different people on their wealth journey, I find that some people would, because of their experiences, either become what we call like an extreme saver. So they save every single thing because they're scared that if was something to happen, they wouldn't have money for kind of like luxuries or things that they really wanted. And then we also find that there are also some people where would go to the other extreme where always spend to compensate for whatever they felt like they missed out when they were kind of like younger. So in terms of that now, so that was kind of like when you were 13, 14. By the time you got into your 20s, so probably at what age did you graduate? At what age did you get your first job? And then how did that experience kind of like impact your view of money?
I got my first job when I was maybe 50, like first proper job. Like, you do little things. And I was singing as well. So I kind of would sing at weddings and things and get paid. But like first proper PPS job. I'd say when I was about 17-ish. And I was working in KFC. I was working in KFC. And the I've just lost my train of thought. Can you repeat the question?
So how did you kind of like view money when you started making kind of like your first money? What did you like? Did you save? Did you start spending? So what was kind of
Okay,
like
yeah. So for me then, like I said, because I was like, I just want to be that comfortable all the time. I I wasn't the one that leaned towards saving everything. If I wanted something and I could afford it, I would
you
get
would
it.
get it? Yeah.
And then, but I also did not have ridiculously expensive taste. So, like,
Okay,
I would be the person to make pennies work on me so well you would think it's Gucci.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Okay.
know, because like that as well. I think I also understood, like, especially when I started working, that okay, things cost money and like nice things cost money, but you can also make things that you can afford work well for you. And so, and then I also think I had the whole will I say hoarding a bit? So I'd like to buy cheaper things so I can buy more of it.
Okay. So it's funny because we had a 14-year-old as well, who we've interviewed along the line, and she said, she was talking about the fact that for her as well, so things like sustainable fashion, so she would go on sites like Vinted to buy. So even though she has a certain taste, which is quality over quantity on her side, but then getting quality at kind of like a cheaper price. So sites like Vinted, sites that she tends to visit, to buy stuff, kind of like sometimes. And then she also said, which is kind of like almost similar to what you said, that she makes money to spend. So let's say she wants something, right? She would go out and say, okay, how can I actually make the money? And then kind of like spend on it, which is, yeah, it's funny how you guys are actually talking in this generation. So, but then now that you're in your 30s and you've actually had children, has that changed the way that you actually view money?
To an extent, yes. Because now I think I'm more in the mindset of quality over quantity. Now, before it was quantity, 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 but now I'm thinking more quality because especially when you have kids, you need things that last. You cannot be buying everything off Shein. You cannot be buying everything off pennies because you're going to have to go back and buy it again.
Especially for yourself. I mean, for
Exactly.
children, you can understand that they grow out of it very quickly. So yeah, you can need it. But when it comes to you as an adult,
Yeah. And like, being now in my 30s, I'm like, I want to simplify my style that like it's something that will carry me through, not that, oh, you look like this one season, another
so
season you look
basically
like
your
this.
own authenticity
Exactly,
comes through
looking
in
for
your
myself.
30s.
And I would want quality products that would carry me through. Never mind the body shape going up and down, and that's another another topic for another day. But I think now in my 30s I'm thinking more quality. And so yes, if I have to put a little bit extra to have this stretch a little bit longer, I know that I'm getting it because it's going to be used well. not just because I want to fill my closet.
Your closet, your wardrobe, yeah, which kind of like makes sense. So, have you faced kind of like a moment where you realized that money wasn't enough for happiness or fulfillment?
Money wasn't enough
For
for
happiness
happiness
or
and
fulfillment?
oh, absolutely. Like I think I've always known that, because we've gone through many seasons in our family in itself, like and even when we went through seasons of low seasons when we had high seasons. So money did not define how we felt, kind of, and even in my own self as well. Um, like last year when I had my daughter, I had to go through a period of unpaid maternity leave, and so I had to prepare myself for that. And it did not because of the money in my account did not define how content I was in my life. So
Yeah. So how did you kind of like prepare yourself for, because you know you were going to take unpaid maternity leave, right?
yeah.
So what were kind of the things that you did to prepare you for that season, both financially and otherwise?
So I had to look at the time I was going to be unpaid for, and look at the bills that are essential, things that are essential. And I didn't also want my leisure and family's time, bonding time, to suffer. So look for things that we could do with the low cost together. If it's that we're going for walks, you're spending time with your family, but you're not spending, you know, um, take the picnic to the park. Go to Fantasia. That's only like what, €5 or something. My kids will feel like they're in an amusement park. Also, they're young kids. They
Young
don't. They're
kids,
not.
to
They
be
don't
honest
need
with
to
children,
spend
right? To be honest,
exactly.
like
There's
it's the
not.
little
Doesn't
things
take
that
that
make them
much to
happy.
go to
It's
like
as they get to teenage ages when you know
one of the
that.
times. It was a Saturday. I took my son. We went on the train to a town nearby, and we went to the beach. Like for me, I have a travel pass, so it costs nothing. Not that it costs nothing, but like in that
In
moment, it
that
cost
moment,
money
yeah,
because
because
I'd
like you
already
already
paid
spent the
for
money,
it,
I heard, yeah.
exactly. And for him, it was free. He sat on it. He was delighted. It was like, and he was like, "Mom, best day ever." I mean, every other day is the best day ever for him, but he was so happy, and that didn't cost me. It cost me a coffee.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much.
mean, to be honest, and
That was it.
yeah, today's, I mean, topic we're actually talking about, like, obviously wealth beyond kind of like your wallet, which is what makes you happier, what makes people happy beyond like kind of like their assets and their liabilities. Because obviously, if you're going to empower women, which is one of the things, is money really shouldn't define you. A very, very big advocate of, even if you're building whatever you're building, be it your career, be it your business, um, one side of it is profit, but then the other side of it is impact, especially like I always like to say on this podcast, because my faith defines me and we're very much a faith-based podcast.
Yes.
The impacts that you create, that you leave in the world, is also
Very
like very,
important.
very important.
Yeah.
So for me, it is financial success is one part of it, but then in empowering women, we're not saying chase after financial success only, because that doesn't make you whole. You have to look at your life in totality and what is it that you're on this earth to kind of like do. Well, like financial wealth is just meant to be an enabler for you to kind of like do the things,
your purpose.
your
Yeah, achieve
purpose,
your
to fulfill your
purpose. Yeah.
purpose. And so obviously we have to get the financial side right, so for us to be able to do the things that we need to do, really. So talking about your son's experience, which is kind of like one of like, that's an example of obviously wealth kind of like beyond your wallet, because there's the little things you'll find out with kids that actually make them happy. But even with human beings as well, like even with adults, it's the little things that sometimes make us like really, really happy. Like me, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I need time out. And people talk about all this whole wellness thing and your mental health and things that you should be doing for your own mental health. And I mean, for me, a normal day, if I need time off, sometimes I just be like, oh, you know what? I just want to Netflix and chill, and I don't want anybody to talk to me, which is giving my space. Nobody should mommy me, nobody should wifey me, nobody should do anything. Just leave me. Let me just be me. And for me, I'll feel like I've had the perfect day ever. And it's, I mean, it's different. Sometimes I just want to read a book. Reading a hard copy book can feel like a luxury sometimes when you have like so much going on. Is why people listen to podcasts, why people listen to like audiobooks. But then me getting that opportunity to just sit down like with a physical book, that time, like for me, sometimes is just that luxury, right? So outside of income or assets, what do you think success actually looks like to
I
you?
think it's literally what you've just said. Like outside of income outside of what was it, income and
Assets.
assets, exactly. It's the little things that is what really is important. Um, it's, you know, being able to say that my children are happy, my husband is happy, I am happy. I might not have so much in the bank, but I'm content. Contentment kind of is it for me, really.
So can you share with my audience a time when you kind of like chose a bigger paycheck over, you chose a peace of mind over like a bigger paycheck?
Oh, okay. I was like, big paycheck, where?
Show me where it is. Let me go and get it right.
He's overpay. In my current career, at the moment, working as a midwife, like this is actually something I'm going through right now. That I had to go to my managers and be like, okay, I may need to reduce my hours so that I can give more to the other parts of me that gives me peace, right? And obviously in reducing hours, that means I'm reducing my pay. So that is the because I have young kids, and like I was saying earlier to someone that, like, I'm like, who is it that decided that I should not be a billionaire? Why? But that's just the case. And um I have young kids. I want to raise my own kids as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
But as well as me raising them is that I can provide
Like
for
for
them.
them. Yeah.
Because this
Here. That's
you
actually
know,
true. Yeah.
because this world that we're in right now, one paycheck cannot do it anymore. Unless, God decides my husband's going to be a billionaire.
I mean, yeah, it's possible.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
currently, like for most people, like you said, it's the average woman that we're talking about right now. In an average home, one income is just not enough anymore. So someone has to also work. And I mean, it hurts that, I'm going out to work to give my money to someone else to raise my child.
No.
Like, it's like, but I had to be like, okay, where's the balance? Out of the 7 days in the week, the weekends, they don't count because there's just go in the weekend. My working week, I have to work to get some money to be able to provide for them, but I need to also be there for them during the weekend where things are a little bit slower, that I can actually instill, like we said, the values that I have, my faith, and how I want to raise them, because it says raise your child. I'm trying to remember the scripture, but you know what I'm trying to say, like, and they will not depart from it. If I can't be there to raise them, how do I expect that to be fulfilled with my children?
So we're talking about 9 to 5, so reducing your 9 to 5, and I know that you have kind of like other passions, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big and I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. Yeah. I'm a big advocate of I run a course that says passion, like, or passion to pay, passion to profit, or purpose to profit basically, right? And what we find out is, to be honest, a lot of us, I mean, I know you enjoy your job, because I also know that you've kind of like built something else out of kind of like what you do, but then there's also kind of like the flexibility of being able to do that full time, and then that also putting money kind of like in your pocket, which
Yeah.
would kind of like be the perfect
Ideal.
the ideal
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
And then there's also singing. How, like, yes. So my next question is, do you think that your passions that you have can kind of be something that you can build out, so that you have that flexibility with your children, and that begins to put even more money into your pocket than what your average 9 to 5 would kind of like put in your pocket?
So absolutely, and that's what I'm currently working on. So for
tell
your
us about these
listeners,
things. Yeah.
for your listeners, I have a service called Midwife Concierge. A lot of people be like, "What is concierge? What does that one mean now?" Essentially, what it is your personal assistant to guide you through pregnancy and motherhood. And so I provide that. That's then me using my degree work as a passion, because really what my passion, because yes, I'm a singer, I love to sing, and I'm also a midwife. In that, the common ground is someone that loves to
Self-service,
serve.
yeah.
Service, exactly. And so that still is my passion, me putting my passion into that service as midwife concierge. Um so I run this service where in the social media side, I'm giving information to women that, may or may not be familiar with, like you're going to your antenatal appointment and the doctor tells you all these things and you come out and you're like, "Ah, I forgot to ask this, I forgot to ask that. Is this normal? Is this not normal?" Or you even ask it and you feel like they kind of have skirted around your issue or kind of brushed it off, and you just want someone there to be able to soundboard and be like, okay, is this okay, is this okay, like you're going on Google and Google is telling you you have cancer. You're like, but all I did was bump my finger. So just being able to be that person that will help, because it's a very stressful time in itself.
It is, to be honest, like
it's a hard season.
from pregnancy to birth, the whole thing can be like,
and your
really,
mind
really...
spirals, I know. So like my passion really is to help women to be able to, when all that noise is there, help them to be able to hone it down and be like, this is normal, this is not normal, let's walk through this. You need to prepare for this at this time, you need to prepare for this after time. Okay, now you've had your baby, I'll be here to help you, get comfortable and build confidence with a newborn. Even if it's your second child, people think that I've done it before.
Nah, ask me. I went from 1 to 3. My second, my twin pregnancy and single pregnancy, totally different. Totally different experience. Like, and when I see people who have twins who go on and have another baby after the twins, I want to ask them that, please, excuse me, are you okay? Because for me, that twin pregnancy, at that point, I knew that but definitely you're not going through another pregnancy in this life. There is nothing that can make me go through it. Do you understand? Like it wasn't even like what my body went through and all of that, but even the preparation for twins coming. Yeah. Like even now, as the twins are going into secondary school, I feel like, oh my God, it was much easier. Is double. Yeah, everything is double. It's much like, I mean, they're two different individuals. Mm-hmm. Left to me, I can just do a checkbook. They're going to different schools. Their needs are different. Mm-hmm. They look alike, but they don't like the same things. One is introvert, one is... So you just feel like you're splitting yourself at the same time. Yeah. So I can understand all that. And I know that your service is something that, I mean, is really, really welcome. Like, it's even the little things like, what should be in my hospital bag? What should I buy for the child? Exactly. Am I overbuying? Am I over? And all of those kind of things. Mm-hmm. So I actually feel like there's a lot that you can actually build out of that. And as we were talking, that's the way my mind works. As in, I see all the business opportunities in no matter how little that is. We need to talk outside of this and everything. And this is what this podcast is all about, really, to be honest. Like, I mean, empower women to kind of like build wealth. And I mean, if 9 to 5 is your thing as well, we would help you, empower you to become like, break whatever glass ceiling that you want to break. We're there for you. But then if there's other things that you want to do as well, no matter how little that you think it is, our job is to make you see that, you know what, you can build a multi-billionaire dollar business out of anything as long as that is what you want to do. And we can kind of like help you and give you the tools to actually do that. And as we were talking, like, I see so many, like, 1,000,001 possibilities out of what you can actually do. Like I'll say, like, I think people, when they think about what is my passion, like, and they, like, if I wanted to say, yes, music is my passion, singing is my passion, but if I wanted to leave it at the activity and not the core behind it, which is service, I would think that, because I can't sing 24/7, then I'm not fulfilling my passion. No, yeah. But that's not what my passion is. My passion is service, because even in every other aspect of my life, I'm serving, and it brings me joy to serve. So you empower women. I put that into exactly. So I put that into my midwifery service. And then it becomes, it's less like work and more like... Which is why I said that when I started off with the question, I said, I know that you actually enjoy being a midwife, because obviously service comes naturally to you. It's something that you were probably born with, that God has kind of like gifted you with. And And that was why I asked that question, because I saw an event that you did a few weeks back where you had with a mommy and me, which I mean, to be honest, moms are always looking for. I mean, when you're at home with a child, a lot of times you feel like the only thing you're doing is talking to the child, and you crave that kind of like adult conversation. So it was really good to see you bring like moms together who had their children like.
Well, it was run by a friend of mine, MIO Prince, so I won't take complete credit, but like, you know, I was there as like me being there to be able to present my service to the women and like, you know, talk them, answer questions that they were like, oh, I've tried this, and like I could see it. I could actually see it that, oh my God,
Madam, go and build a subscription model around all the services that you know that you offer and build a subscription model, and then obviously get your marketing kind of like out there. And today we're in the house of a marketing guru.
Yeah, we were talking earlier.
So talk to her. And so brings me to your next question. My next question, sorry. So what's the biggest financial risk that you've ever taken so far, and what did you learn from it?
Financial risk, I would say, think about that one a little bit, but I think, and it's not a huge risk, because if it's a financial, like money risk, right? It's not a big thing, but like at some point I was into all these, you know, you bring this other person, what's that called?
Ponzi scheme.
I didn't understand it. And so it, at the level of finance that I had then, it wasn't a huge like cash out risk, but the risk, if I did not realize, which I realized then, was to not cultivate that habit.
Yeah.
Because then if I had taken and welcomed that habit, when I had more money, it would have led to a bigger risk. So it was a risk that wasn't a huge impact on me financially, at that time.
It wasn't a lot of money.
Exactly.
But then it could have been if you had a lot more money. So what and Ponzi schemes can be really funny, right? And sometimes it takes a very smart person to understand it. But I always say this to women, like anything that doesn't make sense, anything that you don't understand, you have to explain so hard. Really don't get into it, or also ask questions.
Yeah.
There's no harm in asking so many people questions. What was the attraction for you? And was it because for some people they get into Ponzi schemes because their friends are doing it, and it's more peer pressure than anything else. And they're like, yeah, okay, my friend's doing it. My friend asked me, so I'm just gonna like go along. And because my friend is in it, and I know there are people that have gotten caught because of it. But for some people, I mean, they have different reasons. So for you, what was the attraction?
I think at that time I was pregnant, so we were like, we need to try and get our money to buy baby stuff. And that will make it, you know, easier. You know, I say gather money to buy baby stuff. Like, yes, we had to buy money, but like it was just like, oh, I can multiply this in this amount of time, why not? And that's me not understanding, you know. And then also it came from a trusted person that like they also you know, were like, oh, I'm in it, and they were in it, you know, but they also got burnt, you know. We all got burnt. So
which is what I was saying. A lot of times, sometimes some of us get into these situations because a trusted person kind of like introduced us. And which now brings me to the fact that you need to build, and I say this to a lot of women, right? We build friendship tribes, we build Christians, build prayer tribes, we build all of that. One of the tribes that women haven't got into, I mean, it's changing, is having that smart money tribe. Do you understand? Where your friends don't actually need to be in your smart money tribe. You could go out there and say, okay, you know, these are people that we are growing well together, investing together, getting financial literacy together. And sometimes they might be your closest friends, sometimes they might not be. But it's finding that tribe where there's certain things that sometimes your friends cannot give you that other people might be able to kind of like give you. And that's where networking and all of that is actually kind of like important. Because really and truly, oh no, you're gonna have to get great at it, because you're building out a service that you need people, so you need to start networking. And I hope you learned from that experience. But
I absolutely did not go there again. No.
So financial literacy is actually very important. And I say this to women a lot. Like, there's so much information out there on what financial literacy is. Like, buy books, study, listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube. Like, everything might not apply to you, but there are also little things like that that we can kind of like pick up on it. We did a season on this. I mean, I think it was two weeks of investing 101 on this podcast last season, and we tried to touch kind of like on a lot of things. I think Ponzi scheme might be something that we actually need to really
Yeah.
talk about, because I knew there was also one that they called the Circle of Friends, and people rang me. I was like, look, the way you even explained this into me, even me, that I'm a financial expert, you have confused me. So therefore, I will say to you,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
because anything
It's
that
not straightforward.
requires, like, you guys are not selling a product, you're not selling a service, right? Even with multi-level marketing, I always say to people that if you're not a good marketer, if you're not a good listener, don't do multi-level marketing. You'll be sitting on the products in your house and you'll be tying money down, right? Not to not talk of, there's no product, there's no service, but you're doubling your money. How is that possible?
Yeah.
It only takes one person to break that chain for everything to kind of like fall apart. Now, as a woman in your 30s, have you ever faced gender bias in your career journey?
Like, my career is majority.
It's men that face, it's men that probably face gender bias in your career.
Actually, that's actually true, because I also speak at baby showers. So I was recently speaking at a baby shower, and like, my focus is woman midwife. With woman midwife means with women. So my focus is woman. And then someone was like, what about the husband? I said, I mean, yeah, so check on your husband too and make sure that, but that's not my focus, So, and 90% of my working week, I probably interact with male colleagues, 5% of that.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny how the husbands or the father of the child, unborn child or child actually, is impacted really by pregnancy. Because if you ask men, they will tell you like the different things that they go through as well on that journey of pregnancy with women, and also as the child. Especially now, because we're living in a generation where men are actually more involved in the upbringing of their children. Like, I would say to people that when my kids were much younger, my husband could successfully take the three of them shopping, grocery shopping. He does the grocery shopping and I don't. I couldn't do that. I think I would just run mad with the three of them. But he had a way of kind of like managing them. He, when it comes to school runs, he probably did 90% of the school runs a lot of the time anyway, and I only did 10%. So men are like getting a lot more involved even in the pregnancy journey. They're more present. So do not ignore the men. You'd be surprised.
So, and I loved that they said that, and I learned from that as well, because I was like, okay, going forward, like, again, like, one of the people that I inquired about my service and now are going with my service, like, the woman at first kind of stalled with getting back because her husband wanted to see and speak with me, because it's like, I'm putting my wife and my baby in your hands. I need to know who you are. So like, remembering that, and that also was like, okay, I am keeping that at my forefront, that okay, it's not just, yes, my priority is obviously the woman, because that's who is I'm working with, but yes, not leaving the men behind.
So there's also services that you need to kind of like for men.
Here you like picking out all the services for me. Oh gosh, okay, let's do this.
So which brings me to my next question.
Actually, I actually wanted to say, though, even though I don't personally face
but gender bias,
if I was to say to someone that I would say that you need to work on your own, making yourself valuable, and that's not just in hard work. Because people will be like, they will run themselves to the ground, working, but they're not friends with like, not friends like that, but there's no rapport. And I think the people that have bias, like, I haven't personally experienced it. From what I've seen though, people that feel like, oh, there's gender bias, the people that you are looking at that you feel like are getting it, they have rapport with leadership. They're networking.
So which was actually going to be my next question. So what role has networking or mentorship or community played in your definition of wealth?
How is networking? Can you repeat that? Sorry.
So what role has networking or mentorship or community played in your like definition of wealth?
So in my definition of wealth, in terms of, abundance in what
your total well-being. So what role has community played? I know community is a huge importance to you. So how has that actually played out?
It's a big part of it for me, because I have to make sure I'm surrounding myself with the right people, and what I'm taking in, I'm taking it from the right people. So I'm selective with who like, obviously I'm very approachable and I speak to everyone, but I'm selective with who I'm drawing from. Yeah, because like you can talk to people all the time, but that who you're actually, because like you don't want then, if their values don't align with me, and then now I'm not letting them always letting everybody shape my mind. Like that's not really good. So being selective really of the people in my community, the people that I'm intentionally drawing from.
Okay, and then networking. So for you, obviously, networking is going to be very, very important. So how do you network?
I need to learn. I need to learn from my husband. If everybody knows my husband, they know he can he's a very good. So I'm learning. I'm really learning. Even me being here.
Yeah, we drew you there.
Because I normally would shy away from things like this, or shy away of like introducing myself and introducing my service. And actually one of my really good friends, when I first started the service, she was like, Esther, what's your elevator pitch? I said, what's that?
No, you need to, because that was the next thing I was actually going to say to you. I said, because for one of the things that I think can help you with networking, especially because your service is what is really needed, is to go and join. Have you joined your local enterprise island? Okay, that's my homework for you today. Go and join your local enterprise. Honestly, there's something called, I think, Businesswomen Networking Island as well. You need to join them. There are all these mommy and me groups as well that you need to join, especially because your service is very, very essential. So you need to get out there and start networking.
I'm really working and trying to learn how to do these things, because for me it's like I was saying earlier, I'm like, why would anyone listen to me? They can just Google it.
No. But
But
Google, like, people want that personal service, especially for, like, pregnant women or even women in general. Like, Google is there, but then we like touch, we like that.
Yeah.
It is the way we've been wired, right? No matter how much we spend time on the phone to our friends, we still want to see them physically. We still want to hang out physically, because that is who we are, right? And when it comes to a pregnant woman, believe me, a pregnant woman, the last thing she wants to be doing is googling something. They would rather have, if it's easier for them to pick up the phone, because it's not just about giving me the information; it's about the comfort of hearing somebody's voice
from a trusted
person.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you understand?
And so that's the things I'm starting to learn. Like I launched this in March, and from between March to now, I've learned already so much. Like, that it's, yes, they can do all that, but there's a reason why they go for me, for my service, because of what I have to offer, and because of the warmth that they feel from that. And like that as well, you're pregnant, you're in this difficult season, having someone that you feel like, okay, can, like, one of my clients called me one time, and she was like, she had just left that doctor's office, and they had told her this. Then she was like, oh, I have like I had some, I don't want to be too explicit, but like I basically was talking her through what she had just been told in the hospital, but in a different way. That she was like, oh, okay. Like I talking her off the ledge,
talking her off the ledge, yeah.
Even though
because
she
it can be
had
so
just
much
been
as well, because when your GP doctor tells you all these things, you throw all that information at you, they try as much as well. They have to see the next patient as well.
exactly.
And then you walk around and going like, oh my God, my life is over. Oh my God. And so I can imagine. So, yep. Like I said, join your local enterprise. Join like there's women in business groups. I'm sure there's one in Drogheda. Like there's a lot of things that you can do to begin to get yourself out there and to begin to network. Your service is something that is really, really needed. That is going to serve a lot of women even outside of your community. You'll find the time for it. If you're cutting hours from work, you'll find the time. And you find that, to be honest with you, you can build it around your children. Do you understand? Like my sister-in-law is a doctor. She's a consultant in the States. And what she has kind of like decided to do is to build out her own service, but then she uses scheduling and builds it around the children and all of that. And you can actually do that, especially because you even say, okay, your children have a strict bedtime anyway. So like you take all of that and then you merge all of that together, and then you kind of like build out your service and you make that work for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're almost at the end. So what money lessons do you wish you had learned in your 20s?
Biggest money lesson: stay away from that loan.
What loan did you get yourself into? Now we need to actually get into that. So what loan did you get yourself into?
I mean, okay, so we've been dating since we were young. We got married, came straight out of I came straight out of college. He had worked for maybe like 3 years. I came straight out of college, and obviously we're getting married. Where the funds coming from?
So you took a loan to get married.
And that's one thing will always say to anybody till this day that is getting married: don't waste money on a wedding. Because, and the thing is, I didn't want a big wedding. I say that to everyone. I didn't.
Yeah.
We did the registry, and I was very happy, content. I had the close. I like close things.
Yeah.
I like, small gatherings. I don't like big. Even though I will still dance and do those things, but I prefer small gathering with people that I know that I can look you in your eye and I know you're for me and for you. So we did that, and I was happy with that. But yes, my mom and my husband and his family, my family, they were like, we have to do it. I said, okay, yeah, bring the money now. Let's, but so we thought then that, like, yeah, let's try and get some funds for this. And I think that was just it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. If you can't afford it like that,
just do a
don't
wedding
do
that you
it.
can afford, really.
Or
to
just
be
do one.
honest.
Yeah, and like, I didn't know that at the time. No one ever talked about that. No one was ever forthcoming with the fact that you don't have to. Everybody was having a big wedding, and I'm like, okay, that's what we do. But I'm looking at people that have been working for years,
So basically, that's another thing as well. When it comes to your wealth building journey, saving, investments, you need to know yourself, really. You need to know your pocket. You need to kind of like look at strategies that align with where you are, with your own journey. And then you can kind of like build that out as you go along. As they say, comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a killer.
Yeah. So if you could redefine wealth for women everywhere, what 3 things would that be at the core? So wealth being holistic, total well-being, not just financial. So what 3 things?
So focusing on the fact that wealth means abundance. So in the things that feed your soul, that makes you who you are, in the things that in your health, and oh, I had one. This is gone out of my head. But yeah, most importantly, like, the things that build your core value, allows you to fulfill your purpose. Abundance in those things, abundance in things that will take care of you and your health. And
funny enough, purpose actually brings wealth. There's a guy I follow, and I've read his book before. His name is called Simon Squibb. He wrote a book called What's Your Dream? And he's a big believer of, by fulfilling your purpose or by following your dream, is where like true wealth actually comes from, including your financial wealth. So it'll be, I mean, even if you don't have time to read a physical book, he's on Instagram and he goes around asking people, what's your dream? What's your dream? What can we do to help you fulfill your dream, really? And gets people kind of like out of the rut. Because let's face it, right? If you're working in a job that you don't really like and everything, you're just working to pay the bills, and really and truly, you don't actually like, you're not fulfilling and in any way, shape, or form. So what would be any last piece of advice to leave for either women in their 30s or our listeners?
Follow your passion, but don't look at the action as your passion. So, like I was saying earlier, my passion is to serve, and I put that in different areas. It doesn't just have to look like one way. It doesn't have to look like one business. You can put that. What is I don't even know what I call, like, this. The action is singing, but the passion is service.
It's service. So
So putting that in different areas. And for some people, the action may be, I don't know, like for yourself, yours is business and finances, but
my passion is actually service as well. You'll be surprised.
It's
Yeah,
service,
it's service. It's actually service. So
yeah,
it took me a while to actually realize it and to see
and
how
so
it
you
all
put that
comes
in your. For
together.
me, if you
Like,
said I should do what you're doing, I'd be like, no, thank you.
yeah, but it's for me, it's service is what actually gets me up in the morning. Like the numbers are one thing, telling you what you can do and all of that is another. But it's being able, like, my true passion is serving people and empowering women to become like everything that God has kind of like created them to be. So Esther, thanks so much for coming on this episode today and for sharing your journey.
Thank you.
So if our listeners wanted to use your service, because to be honest with you, your service is something that I wish I had when I had my 3 children. How can they connect with you? So what's your social media handle, as they
Yes,
say?
you can find me on Instagram at midwife concierge. I'm currently on Instagram. I do have a TikTok that is under construction. But midwife at midwife concierge. So CONCIERGE.
So she even spells it for you guys.
Yes.
So guys, this episode today was just to let you guys know that, I mean, we talk about wealth, we talk about money, we talk about everything on this podcast, but what we're really trying to build is a holistic woman, because at the end of the day, fulfilling purpose is at the core of everything that we actually try to do with this podcast. And for me, what my joy would be, and my producer's joy, is for us to be able to build that whole woman, which is what shalom means, which is total wholeness in every area of your life. And with that, we're signing out of this episode. And like we always say, if this has blessed you in any way, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, your enemies, the people that you don't like, the people that don't like you. Everyone is bound to be blessed. And until next time, it is me, your host, Dalakwa Sanusi Ola, signing out.